This is a Pint-Size Media podcast production.
Welcome to the Janet Generally Speaking podcast. I'm sitting here with Melanie Walker. I'm sure that's a name many of you that are my age will remember. And I've been looking forward to this chat for so long. So hello.
Hello to you. You've got to say the Melanie Walker because there are, in fact, 5 others in South Africa that I know of.
Oh, well, they're not Melanie Walker, though.
That's why I'm the Melanie Walker.
Yes, exactly. I want to talk today about your career. The first time I ever saw you was on television.
Running around like a headless chicken. With
what was
on.
it? Was it Treasure Hunt? What was Scatterjach? Something else.
Scott. And
that's right.
It was quite interesting because it was just yesterday that Annalyn Creel, this post came up and said, for you to review on Facebook. So, of course, she's now added, because I'm on her Facebook followers,
right.
She added Melanie Walker, TV presenter, on her page. So, of course, then were all these people that are like, oh, Melanie Walker, la, 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 la. And they're going, yeah, her and Scott. And I'm like, hello, Scott and I never worked together.
Yeah,
okay, we had our own shows. And people, it's amazing how people misremember things. Oh, yeah, you were on Scatterjach. And I'm like, no. I was on Treasure Hunt. I did it in English on my own.
English. That was the most important part of it, was that English, and you were better looking.
And I was a girl and about a foot shorter than him as well. So I could go, anything he could do, I could do better. And in heels.
And how did you get there? Go all the way back to, what did you do? How did you get to be the Melanie Walker on Treasure Hunt?
Well, first of all, I started modelling when I was quite young, and I was working in production for years and years at the SABC, and through those years I met up with Colin Taylor, the cameraman who was on Scatterjach. So at that stage when I met him, I'd left the SABC.
Not to confuse the shows.
No, so he was doing a music video for John Wainwright, the late John Wainwright, and he decided I should be the girl who's in the video, the music video. I was an air hostess at the time. So, of course, then I went and I was living overseas, and I knew that he did Scatterjach, so my parents had to put up with me listening to like Afrikaans television because I was like mad about it. And when I went to England, then I used to sit and watch Treasure Hunt with Annika Rice. And then then I was living in Ireland, and at that stage was Annabelle Croft who was doing it. And Colin came over to Ireland, and we were sitting and watching it, and he says, you should come back to South Africa. And then when you come back, then I think you should become like Annabelle or Annika, and go and do Treasure Hunt. So, of course, eventually I did come back to South Africa, and he spoke to the producers and said, we should really do this in English with a girl. And at that stage, I couldn't even get an agent. I mean, I'd spoken to all the agents. Yeah. And he said, look, I'm putting you forward for the auditions, the cameraman. But, ultimately, this SABC and this people and this, that, and the other. And out of all of the people who came through from their agents, I was the one who got it. And then, of course, all the agents wanted me on their books.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And that was the story of how I got it. There were some unsavory stories about some people in the industry who were jealous, saying that the only reason Melanie got it is because, you know what they say, what jealous women say.
Yeah.
Until I pointed out, of course, that the majority of the people who made the decision I hadn't actually met. So that's the way it goes,
Yeah, that's unfortunately goes with the territory. I'm sure you've come across that multiple times over your career.
Oh, yeah. It still happens.
And so did you study drama or anything?
Nope.
Did you go from school to...
I studied to be a secretary.
Okay.
I studied to be a secretary, and then I became a model, and then I became an air hostess, and that was pretty much like as much as I did then.
Yeah.
So no drama. I always thought, like, when I was 9 years old, I wanted to be an actress. I wanted to dye my hair blonde and go to RADA. That was the idea. Or I wanted to be a game ranger, or an archaeologist. But no, I didn't study it. And to be a presenter, I think it's more about having a good connection with the person behind the camera. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you're like thinking, oh my gosh, I'm presenting to millions of people. You'd always got to just talk to one person, like I'm talking to you now.
Yes.
So we're having a conversation. And that's what brings most presenters who are good presenters into the hearts and the homes of people, because you've got to remember that you're going into that person's house. You're a fixture. Every Sunday night I was in people's houses, so when they meet me, they're like, it's like I feel like I know you.
I know.
Because you have to
when
have
you walked in the studio, it was like, hold on, hold on, I know that face.
And I mean, that was 35 years ago, the first series.
Yeah.
It feels like yesterday. I'll
I'm
do
sure
it again
it
in a
does.
heartbeat.
I'm
and
sure. Even in a helicopter.
Of course, in the helicopter. I might be going flying this weekend with a good friend of mine who has a helicopter.
Divine.
And I still have the outfit and I still fit into it.
Oh, even better.
Even after children.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So now my question is, your business is you as a freelancer.
Yeah.
Have you always been that person?
Pretty much so. I mean, I've had obviously some jobs where I had jobs, as we like to call them.
Yeah.
But, I mean, even when I was working like as a secretary in Cape Town, I still, well, because I didn't earn much money and I had to eat, worked as a waitress because that's the way you fed yourself when you were younger. And then obviously as an air hostess, had a full-time job working at the SABC. But most of the stuff that I did, production, even on production, you see yourself more as a freelancer because you're working on projects rather than being employed by a company for a set number of years at a particular salary. So it's always contract basis, which I still do now. I have certain contracts with certain companies. But as a freelancer, it's always been like, people say, what do you do? And I'm like, okay, how much time do you have? I've got like 5-6 jobs.
Yeah.
And they are jobs. I mean, it's not like, I'm having fun with podcasting, sure, but
No.
I don't get paid for it.
Yeah.
So there are certain things that are, what do they call them? Vanity projects or hobby
Yes,
projects? But they're not
I
really.
prefer vanity projects to hobby projects because hobby projects sounds dismissive.
Yeah.
And
So-
vanity projects.
I don't know if I'd call it that
No,
either, but it's
actually,
just,
voicing it doesn't make it sound right.
for me, it's more about especially with the gardening side of things, is getting
Yeah.
the information, disseminating information to people in South Africa on how to grow things because that's what I can do.
Yeah.
So it's more of an education thing. Then the other podcast I do is about speaking to authors about books, about words. So that's pushing authors. And then, of course, the one for SA People is about South Africanness.
Yeah.
So that's where, it's always got something behind it. It's not necessarily about me. It's about the issues.
And do you feel what has given you the skill, the background to be able to work like this? I mean, I think we were of a similar age, and we kind of left school knowing
Late 70s.
knowing that you were going to get a job and you'd be there for the rest of your life, kind of thing. And we were still told to look for security and marry, I suppose.
Well, that's what my dad always said. I thought I should go to university because at that stage I was like leaning towards the law, and my dad said, no, you don't need a university education because you're a girl. Okay, so because what happens, girls, the father spends all the money on getting the education, then she meets somebody, gets married and has children and never uses the degree.
Yes.
So I kind of went, oh, okay, well, I'll go and do all of these other things. Like a girl can be a model or an air hostess or a secretary, which I did. And then I just thought, you know what, there's more to, and being an air hostess was actually great, but with all of those different things that I did and going and living overseas and even working in a wine bar and washing dishes at a pub in England, it all leads to doing something. So I've never had a job. I think the longest I stayed in a job was like about 2 years.
Okay.
And I don't know how to do that. And I look at all the people that I know now who are our age who are retiring. And
I know.
I'm like, I'm never going to retire. I'm going to work until the day I die because I enjoy doing what I do. So why would you retire from that? But having said that I wasn't allowed to have a university education, I decided anyway to do it myself.
Yeah.
So I got 4 degrees and didn't use them just to annoy my father.
I love that. So going back to the question, do you think that being able to be a freelancer, I mean, obviously, it becomes a skill, I think, at the end of the day. Did anything prepare you for that, or did you just feel that it was something that you fell into, you did well, and are still enjoying?
I think it boils down to mainly really being passionate about what it is that you're involved in. Okay, look, being a freelancer, being a contractor is very scary.
Yes.
Because you don't have any job security. You don't have that 13th check. You don't get paid leave. You don't get paid sick leave. If you're sick and you don't work, you don't earn.
Yes.
And regardless of what I've done, I mean, working at like Mnet and Supersport and doing auto cue for their presenters. Even while I was presenting, because I actually used to earn more money rolling an auto cue than I did as a presenter at Supersport. I mean, go figure. Seriously.
Yeah, for the person that's reading the auto cue, not to read it right.
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was one of those things. So I trained in everything.
Yes.
I mean, it was a case of, I think I might like to do that. So I'd find the money and then go and train to do it. In the same way when podcasting became a thing, learning to become as an audio engineer, having to learn all these new skills. And it doesn't matter how old you are, you can teach an old dog new tricks.
Yes.
So I think that if you've got a passion for something, there's no point in sitting in a job and being miserable just because you get a paycheck at the end of the month. Even if it feels safe, there's no quality of life. And I think that's what the driving force for me was, is not being stuck in something that I'm going to be not enjoying. All the stuff I'm doing now, I really enjoy all of it.
So what are you doing now?
Well, brand ambassador. So it's not influencer. I hate. Gosh, people are saying, "Oh, Melanie, with your name, you should be an influencer." And I'm just like, no, that's just not going to. I don't buy into that.
Yeah.
So I call myself the head communicator for Hideko bulbs.
Okay.
So I go around teaching people that, as well as being an Ask an Expert for. Life is a Garden, which is the marketing arm of SANA, the South African Nursery Women's Association. Okay. Plus, I run a couple of garden clubs. Plus, I do talks for all the different garden clubs as myself and as Hideko's brand ambassador. The podcasting stuff, obviously, I've just mentioned. I'm also involved in local politics. Might be branching out a little bit further on that. I write.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, I'll let you know when it happens. But I'm on our local ward committee, so I work a lot with the councillor and with our MP. But I've been in politics when was it? 1994. I was 21st on the DP's national list. I think it was the new DA.
Okay.
But then we decided to do another season of Treasure Hunt, so of course I had to take my name off the list. But before that, I used to go down to Parliament and work with John Ledger. I was the public relations officer for the DP in the environmental lobby. So I was involved from that point of view, because the environment for me is incredibly important. So what else? I do some other work as well. I know.
And you're a Pilates instructor.
That's another one of the things. Yes, I teach Pilates. So it's stuff, and people say, "But my goodness, you've got this ridiculous lifestyle," and I'm going, "Yeah, but it fits. It works." Plus, I'm a single mom to two now 20-year-old girls.
Yeah.
So.
That doesn't get easier.
That doesn't get any easier. No, it gets worse as you get older.
So what do you think your innate skills are?
A great sense of humour.
Okay.
And a thick skin. It's definitely one that you need, even though I don't really have one.
Yeah.
But you fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Okay. And also just having a command of language. And the thing is, as I said, once again, people think that they're presenting to a whole lot of people. So they're sitting there and look at me, and trying to talk to all the people. But the way to get to it is that ability to just talk to one person. And that is where presenting comes in. Acting I'm a terrible actress. I have acted. I'm absolutely awful at it. As I said to I used to have Nana Stapelberg, who was on CakeNet as a presenter, and she was also an actress, and they had us up against each other in, I think, FHM or something, and they said, "What are your acting skills?" And are you a better presenter or actor? And none of I'm a better actor, and I'm like, I'm a much better presenter. I'm a cuck actress. I don't feel comfortable being anybody else except me, to be honest. Although I end up being a psychiatrist or a psychologist in a lot of soapies. Why I'm always a doctor, I don't know. Maybe it's the voice.
Yeah, maybe you sort of going back to a past life or something.
Well, yeah, Dr. Walker. I decided I want to do my doctorate, so I'm on an aeroplane and somebody says, "Is there a doctor on board?" I can go, "Yes, me."
Moving on to the more personal, what inspires you?
Inspirational people, and I find them very few and far between. And it can be somebody who's just selling stuff on the side of the road. Yes. I think people with a positive outlook rather than give me. Anybody, people who come into my class, there's some people who go out and they do things when they've got so many pressures in their lives, and they just have that certain something that comes along and makes you think, I want to be a better person too. That's what I find most inspiring out of everything.
Yeah, people doing it for themselves almost. Yeah, and reaching dreams. I think is also
Well, if you
a
never
big one for me.
try, then you're never going to, this is my
No.
thing. Even if you think you can't do something, at least give it a go. I know that Yoda says do or do not, there is no try. But, occasionally you do need to actually, if you put your arm out and you move it, that's moving it. If you don't move it, well, you're just not moving it. You're not trying not to move it. But, the thing about try is give it a go, I think is a better way of that must be my ethos to say, just give it a go.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, one of my previous podcasts with Mary Lou, Mary Lou,
Yes.
and she sort of said what inspires her very similar was anybody that starts their own business, big, small, in between, anybody that's willing and that to give it a go. So I think if we're all in the same space, we seem to gravitate towards those people that are really giving it a bash.
But the thing is, it can be scary. It's but you know what? You never got anywhere by not doing something.
No.
So sometimes you just have to take that big deep breath and leap.
So then, do you have a daily mantra? Do you get up in the morning and look in the mirror and go,
No. I try not to look in the mirror. I look like a fright in the mornings. No, okay, no.
Are you also looking in the mirror these days and going, who the hell are you?
Well, no, I don't think that I've actually changed all that much. Yeah, I've got lines and things which kind of are a little bit disturbing, especially as my body's getting fitter. And then suddenly your face says, I'm going. People say to me the other day, like, is there such a thing as face Pilates? So I'm trying to look into that to try and get off faces. I know they do face yoga.
Is it yoga? Okay.
But I don't have a thing, you are this, that, and the other. And I have watched a lot of motivational speakers, and I really do appreciate. Some of them are fantastic, and I really enjoy listening to them.
Yeah.
Some of them are just like, oh, please, what have you got to actually offer the world? But my thing has just always been get up, get out of bed, get up, make your bed, get up, get dressed, and get out there.
Okay.
That's all it. I mean, even during COVID, I had to keep busy. I had to keep doing things.
Yeah.
And I try and do the same thing with my kids. So I think, honestly, the Pilates teaching side of things, I do it because if I didn't teach, I probably wouldn't go to gym.
Well, I'm doing Pilates now, and I've just started doing boot camp. So for half an hour before Pilates, I'm doing a half-hour boot camp, and I'm loving the combination. I'm loving the whole thing, and you feel so different.
It changes
after.
everything. And this is one thing that people say, oh, I haven't got time to exercise. I don't have time to go
Put
for a
it in
walk."
your diary.
You put it in your diary, and that is something we were discussing. I go walking 2 or 3 times a week with a very good friend. We walk like 7 kilometers in the cold, on the Spruit, and it's fantastic. And we were moaning about our daughters who are the same age. Like, they just don't exercise. And, if you don't do that, then you start getting depressed. And I think that's a big thing, especially for younger people. Whatever you're doing, however hard you're working, you make some time, at least 4 times a week, to go and do exercise. That's it.
That's exactly. Look, I've got a couple of girl crushes. So Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie is one. I absolutely love what she has to say. I've read every book she's written. And the other person, and going back to one of those age-old questions, who would you like to have dinner with or breakfast or coffee? And for me, it's Jane Fonda. Who's it for you?
Wow. I've never thought about it from a female perspective, strangely enough. I mean, I've actually mostly met most of the people that I wanted to meet, surprisingly.
Oh, wow.
Like Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top. And I spent like 4 or 5 days with him and Dusty when they were out here in South Africa.
Name-dropping names. I love it.
Richard, what's his face from Virgin?
Branson.
Branson, that's it. I was thinking Burton, and I was like, no, not Elizabeth Taylor. So Richard Branson, have met him. That was wonderful.
Yeah.
Whoopi Goldberg was one of the people that I really, really liked a lot and got to meet her. Peter Sellers was the one that, if we were doing just from a male perspective, I'd love to have met him, even though by all accounts apparently he was a bit of a misogynist and not a particularly nice person. There isn't the only. I've got a bucket list, a couple of bucket list items, but never really I've never been particularly overawed with celebrity because I've met so many and people like, who's the most famous person you've ever met? Well, it depends on which field you're talking about, obviously.
Well, the Melanie Walker.
Well, I've never thought about it like that. I mean, apparently, it's like, apparently people wanted to meet me, and I was always kind of like quite kind of perturbed about that, because the me at home wasn't exactly the me that they saw on television for a very long time, you know, and especially as I was saying about the 94 elections. And the Maverick ran an article, Melanie gets into Parliament, you know, because I would have been probably the youngest ever parliamentarian in 1989 when I was asked to stand for the Hillbrow Award, because I was Miss Hillbrow at the time. And this Melanie will make everybody compulsorily do exercise every single day. And at that time, I wasn't. I mean, I was going to the gym kind of willy-nilly, but I was really, really fit because of, you know, just dancing and boxing and martial arts. But I was hardly ever in a gym. Now, of course, I'm in the gym all the time. So the younger me has become the older me, according to the Daily Maverick. So... yeah, the celebrity thing, I was like, oy vey, and meeting people. I mean, I hung out with John Savage and Sylvester Stallone's brother. I mean, I could really name drop, and people say, why didn't you write a book about your days in the 80s and here and abroad? And I'm like, well, I didn't find it all that kind of interesting. They were just people. You know, working on movies as well, you know, working with Michael Douglas and Val Kilmer, ended up being his PA, and I was like, oh, Val, you know, such a... And he was seeing Cindy Crawford at the time, and, you know, you're sitting there and going... how would you like your eggs done boiled? Okay, would you like 3-minute eggs or 5 minutes? What are you talking about? And I'm like, oh gosh, do you people, Americans, not know anything about boiled eggs? So you have those kind of relationships.
Because at the end of the day, they are normal people.
They're just people.
Yeah.
And anybody who actually enters celebritydom and suddenly thinks that there's something special, those are the people I want nothing to do with. They're just absolutely, and I don't think anybody should have anything to do with them.
For me, it's Jane Fonda, especially now. I mean, you
oh
know,
my gosh, she's amazing on Grace and Frankie.
Well, that, but I mean, for me, it's more her continued activism and
awesome.
Still marching, you know, at her age. But
no, she's awesome. I really do rate her amongst one of the most incredible people. Angelina Jolie as well. I mean, I'd love to meet her just to see what she's actually like. But also the work that she does has been phenomenal.
And we don't see it.
Joanna Lumley, the stuff she does. Bo Derek. I mean, surprise. I'm not Bo Derek. Daryl Hannah.
Oh, yes.
The stuff that she does. So there's and then watching, just last week I was watching that, not When Winter Comes, something about the end of nature. But anyway, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I follow his Instagram.
But I mean, this documentary series he's done, which I think is on Disney, it's just phenomenal. He, you know, goes around talking about climate change, and he even has the people saying there's no such thing as climate change. What he's doing just to create awareness and people using their celebritydom for good, not like being famous for being a celebrity.
No, and Leonardo DiCaprio is one. I mean, as I say, I follow his Instagram. He's got where he's talking environment and that all the time, and it is so interesting the stuff that he brings up and that he's posting.
That would be somebody. I'd like to meet him. I think my children would like to meet him. They fell madly in love with him. I'm like, oh my goodness me! But when he was young, he was like absolutely just the sweetest things.
He was.
But they follow him avidly as well. I think people who have done something really amazing, like the people who do the round the world yacht races on their own. I mean, obviously I spent a lot of time with Springboks. I spent a lot of time with them, and I always wanted to meet Corne Krieger. Of course, I got to meet him and have my photograph taken with him, except the photographer lost the photo.
Oh,
Still
no.
asking Vessel for it. But people who make a difference, I think those are the people that I'm interested in meeting. The late Ian Player. Absolutely. That was also one of the best things for me was meeting him. I don't know why it always seems to be men that do a lot of the stuff that... Do you think that people don't take women seriously a lot of times?
Still, yes.
I know they don't take me seriously because I'm blonde and talk a lot of nonsense, but, you know, I'd work behind the scenes to actually right wrongs. But I think maybe it's easier for me to do it from the point of view of, I'm just a poor little woman, I need some help.
I do believe that we have to use all the tools in our armor, and one of those tools is the ability to turn it on. You know, the fluttering eyelashes and the coy smile.
I'm not very good at doing that.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, continuing the personal, what gets you to sleep at night? Are you a meditator or a book reader or a put your head in the pillow and go to sleep?
I'm a put my head on the pillow and go to sleep person. I'm literally, at the moment I turn the light off, within 7 seconds, I'm probably asleep. But
Wow.
I do have my thing that I need to read at least a chapter of some book every night before I go to sleep.
Yes.
And
Oh,
because I
you're
love
with me.
reading.
Yeah.
I love words. I love language. I love stories. So
I
that
can't
is-
actually go to sleep unless I've read something.
Yeah, I've gotten a bit better at that. It was a weird
Still
thing that happened
can't.
during COVID that we thought, we're going to read all of these books, and then we didn't read. And we got out of the habit of reading because we
Oh,
started
no.
binge watching television.
Oh, yes. True.
And I think that's been a big bugbear for me, that my kids won't read because they're binge watching things, series.
Yeah.
And I mean, I grew up reading, but then we grew up without television. But I do listen to podcasts. I love listening to podcasts, especially, and my kids do it as well now. They will go to
Yes.
sleep with a podcast on.
Oh,
so they
okay.
listen to No Such Thing as a Fish.
Fish, yeah.
which of course
John's
is
big on that one.
The elves from QI, because I love QI.
Okay.
The Infinite Monkey Cage, which I absolutely did. It's
Okay, I
Professor
don't know.
Brian Cox, not the actor Brian Cox, the professor who was in the band D Ream back in the 80s. He was a musician.
Okay.
It's absolutely brilliant. He's
Okay.
fantastic.
I have to make a note of that one.
The Curiosities of Rutherford and Fry is another one, except they annoy me sometimes. But mostly English
Yeah.
podcasts. And
I
that
listen
puts
in
me
the
to sleep.
car.
I go to sleep listening to them, and we leave them on the whole night. I'll wake up in the middle of the night and my kids have still got the dulcet tones of, what's his name? James. No, I'm being sarcastic using dulcet tones because James Harkin is just the worst voice in the world. But they're very funny, and the information is so fantastic. Yeah. So that's my bedtime thing is podcasts, read, sleep.
What makes you come alive?
Good question. I don't know. What do I get excited? Are you saying what excites me? I get excited when I see that somebody else is passionate about something,
Yeah.
and I can talk to them about it. Or if
Yeah.
I'm passionate about something, and people will talk, and then I start getting like really jumping up and down. Talking about treasure hunt, talking about South Africa, talking about traveling in South Africa, not
Yeah,
even necessarily
traveling.
overseas.
No, South
I
Africa.
love South Africa, and I do road trips, and I really love my road trips.
Okay, going to have to talk to you about that on the side.
Yeah, so about certain aspects of gardening, obviously,
Yes.
because that's what I do.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of like we call it chaos theory rather than haphazard. I mean, I do know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
but I just don't put it into practice. Well, I
Yeah.
do because I have the most well-designed garden, and I'm passionate about conserving the environment, about conservation of animals, about all of that stuff. And when I find like-minded people, or I can teach something, I can see suddenly
Yeah.
suddenly clicked. Hang on, this makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
And they start putting that into practice. I'm very passionate, and what makes me come alive is talking about my children's crochet blankets.
Oh, wow. I love that.
It's very
what
odd.
are they crocheting at the moment?
Blankets,
blankets,
and more
blankets.
blankets.
Okay.
And they do make
Was
a lot
for
of others.
charity?
And jerseys. No, they make blankets
themselves?
and
Okay.
people who want them.
Yeah.
I mean, I always do lots of blankets for 67 blankets,
Yes.
and have done since its inception.
Yeah.
So it's something that I kind of did, and then they thought, oh, we like this idea, and my goodness, they're good. They just watch
wow.
it. I want to try something new, and they go into a YouTube tutorial, and I'm like, how do you do this? It's beautiful. So I get really proud. I'm a proud mama. My kids make me come alive. My daughters are absolutely splendid.
What satisfies your soul? That's different to making you come alive.
What satisfies my soul? Having nobody else in the house except myself. Having some downtime and actually literally just getting time to sit down, read, instead of like sitting there and thinking, oh my goodness, I have to paint this room and I need to get up there and sort that out. Just doing nothing.
And enjoying it. Yes.
Because this is a thing that everybody thinks, I've got to keep, the business of busyness
Yeah.
is also
No.
problematic. You have to have downtime.
Agreed.
But we feel guilty about it. We're made to feel guilty. Oh, you're just sitting at home doing nothing. Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that?
No, I've got over myself on that, and I
Yeah.
leave everything here, or I don't work on the weekend. Finished
Oh,
class.
I work the whole weekend.
Friday night, Friday afternoon, 5:00, that's me done. Because I've worked weekends for most of my career, and enough now.
Well, when you do what I do, I mean, the talks are on weekends, teaching classes
Yeah.
on weekends, doing courses on weekends.
so do you get downtime on other
Fridays.
days, on Fridays.
Friday's my day off, usually,
Yeah.
if I'm lucky.
So now we're going to move on to some quick fire questions.
Yes. I'll give you quick fire answers.
Cool. You don't have to, but cool.
Okay.
Star sign.
Libra,
Chocolate or chips?
chips.
Tattoos?
Yes.
School. What did you go to?
Government.
Government.
And my children did too.
Yeah. Tea or coffee?
Neither.
Cook or eat out?
I hate restaurants, but I don't like cooking. I want a chef to come and cook for me at home.
Oh, I'd love that.
That's all. If I win the lotto, that's happening.
And a personal trainer. Will you
I am a personal
Yeah.
trainer.
best part of your day?
Oh, probably evenings.
First thing you think about in the morning?
Make my bed.
Creative
Some water.
Are you creative, morning or night?
Night. I'm very much a night owl.
Who's your favorite writer?
Clive James.
What are you reading at the moment?
I am reading David Baldacci,
wow.
the 620 Man. But then I'm also reading Godot, Escher, and Bach, The Eternal Golden Braid.
Okay.
But I dip into that.
Yeah.
I've always got to have something on the go which is like a little bit more kind of less schlock. shall
Yeah,
we say.
I'm reading Homo Sapiens and Carrie Soto's back.
Okay.
Just gorgeous, by the way. What makes you nervous?
Politicians.
Favorite getaway?
Yeah, that's a hard one because I like mountains and I like the sea. But I mean, Cape Town's nice, but there's just too many people. I love going to the beach, but I don't like the sand. So my favorite getaway, definitely not the bush. I have to be honest with you. I would say probably, I don't know,
Your house?
Sitwana. I used to live in Sitwana. I love getting away to there.
Yeah, it is a lovely place. How do you feel about social media?
It's a useful tool.
What's in your bag that you can't live without?
Lipstick.
If you could switch lives with anyone, who would it be?
Whoa. What are you talking about with all the nonsense that goes with it as well? Or just like having the good stuff? There's like
The romantic view of it.
the romantic view of a person's life. Who would I swap with? I wouldn't change my life for the world.
Awesome answer. What song, last one, what song is currently making you dance?
The songs that I've been listening to for my whole life, and the one that will always get me boogieing is Owner of a Lonely Heart by Yes, because Trevor Rabin wrote it.
I've just bought the Rabbit album. The one of him lying on the cover.
Aren't they doing some kind of a revival at the moment? I saw something on social media like in the last week.
Oh, well, I'm going to have to search that.
Rabbit is coming back with something. Yes, I've got to remember what it was.
But before we go, hasn't he had the most amazing career?
Yes.
I mean,
No, I haven't met him, would like to meet him.
yeah, no, exactly. My brother was in the army with him.
Oh, but I've got a long and weird history with, even though I wasn't into Rabbit when they were Rabbit, and I never met any of them while they were Rabbit, but I used to train with Neil Cloud.
Oh,
the drummer.
wow.
And then Ronnie Robot had a thing for me at one point, which is quite odd. So, yeah, there's been those kind of little things that happen over the years. Yeah.
We're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining me. I've loved every minute of it.
Thank you.
And until we chat again.
Oh, well, we'll be chatting a lot. I'm going to give you all the good road trip places to go to.
Yes, you have to. You
Fantastic.
have to. Thank you. Thank you for listening to Janet Generally Speaking. You can hear a new episode each Tuesday wherever you get your podcasts. If you like what you hear, please help us by rating, liking, sharing, and following, as it helps us to be found. Follow us on our social media platforms. You can find the links in the podcast description. Thanks for listening. Until we chat again.